Could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Gabriela Gonzalez-Mariscal, and I work in Tlaxcala, which is a state in central Mexico. I have been working in this semi-rural lab for the past 25 years, working mainly with rabbits.
What attributes do you consider necessary to be a good scientist?
Well, I guess the main thing is to be daring and enthusiastic about taking the non-traveled path. That's what scientific inquiry is all about finding out new things or new approaches to old problems. Thus, I think a young scientist or potential scientist should be attracted to novelty, have flexibility of thought, not be afraid of uncertainty because science is full of uncertainty, taking pleasure in learning new things and in communicating your findings to others, both in written form and orally. And last but not least, you have to enjoy your work so that you can work hard and also to learn from your mistakes. Never be discouraged by your mistakes. We all make them, but rather learn from them.
How does one compensate for low-tech equipment when trying to answer important questions?
Well, I guess the main thing is to have a good question. That's what starts a good experiment. See, almost every problem in science has a multitude of possible experimental approaches. None of them is sufficient. Most of them complement each other. So the main thing is that you carefully evaluate what are your real technical possibilities in the place where you are at. Use that methodology to investigate a particular question of the problem you are interested in. And if you want to expand your methodological possibilities, collaborate with others, rather in your home country or abroad. The results from all the methodologies you use will complement each other. And second, a key issue is to try and interpret your findings within a broad framework. For that, you need to educate yourself. You need to learn about not only the issues that are directly related to your particular problem, but also you have to learn about fields that are complementary to your main issue, and that will allow you to expand the possibilities of interpretation of your own findings.
Could you describe a successful study you performed using simple equipment?
Oh yes, it concerns reproductive behavior in the female rabbit. Two aspects of it. The first one is scent marking. We found, using very low-tech equipment, that chin marking, which is a very conspicuous form of scent marking consisting of the rubbing of the animal's chin against any solid object in the environment, is very high during estrus, but following mating and all across pregnancy and lactation, this behavior is depressed. The way by which we quantified chin marking across the reproductive cycle in rabbits was simply by placing the animal within a round arena and placing inside it 3 piles of bricks. Can't get any more simple than that. And we just counted the number of marks the animals made onto any of the brick piles across 10 minutes, and that determined chinning frequency. The second problem that we approached using low-tech equipment is maternal nest building in the rabbit. We found that this process consists of 3 sequential activities, that is, digging, straw carrying, and hair pulling. This was already known, but the way we quantified this in the lab was by placing, for instance, a piece of compressed cardboard within the female's nest box. We waited before we introduced it and 24 hours later. The difference in weight indicated the amount of digging done in a day. We quantified straw carrying by placing a fixed amount of straw inside the female's cage but outside the nest box, and 24 hours later we weighed how much of that straw she had introduced into the nest box. And for hair pulling, we just determined on how many days she did this activity. So this is really very, very low tech. We just needed a balance to do that, and that allowed us to quantify these behaviors across pregnancy and also to investigate further on which are the hormonal and extra-hormonal factors that participate in regulating this fundamental mammalian activity.